Hello everybody and welcome back to Analytic Labs YouTube channel. Today we are happy to introduce a new section of our channel where we describe new functionality of the system which will be implemented in the new system release. We hope that this section will facilitate acquaintance with the new features appearing in the system and will help you to integrate them into your business. As you may know, the new version 3.5.0 was released, and here we are going to list the most important features and changes from the new version. As not all features and corrections will be discussed in this video, you are also able to check the full list of the innovations in the release note document, which link you can find under this video. We have categorized new features for your convenience, because not all of them are active for both SMS and voice parts of the system. That is why we will also mark it here for you to easily understand which part of the system this functionality affects. Parallel with the system development, new system settings are added almost in every system release. This fact causes an increase of the system settings in the interface, and sometimes it is quite difficult to find the needed setting. But now it is possible to filter parameters by means of the new field located at the bottom of the interface. It can help you to find the right setting by using keywords. The Report Builder interface lets us not only get all the data from the database in the needed format, but also use the data to make the calculation. In the new version, we have added a new button Open as Pivot, which will open a new data that will be shown in the pivot view, similar to ActiveCalls interface. Using this mode, you can organize the order of the report columns at your discretion and get the totals value of all columns and rows, as you can see on the screen. Sometimes, as you can see on the screen, the interface contains much more columns and data than your screen resolution allows you to see. Some part of the information can be hidden under Add Edit panel. That is why we have added a new button in every interface where you can find this panel, which lets you hide it for your convenience. You are always able to open it again every time it is needed. Sometimes when you provide a new employee or new client with a new user for the retail portal or for the main system interface, there is a need to check whether you have granted all the required roles or check how the interface will be presented for the new created user. For such purpose, we have added new Imporsonate role, which lets you log in to both the retail portal and main interface using other user's identity by adding its login to the username after hash and your own password. This feature allows checking up the statistics and other partner-related data from the user's point of view and respective restriction applied without knowing or resetting its password. For example, we have a user 1 which needs to log in into the system using user 2 and check all the needed information. We will provide the user 1 with the role Impersonate, and using its login and postfix we will be able to log in into the system as user 2. This logic works for the retail portal also, as you can see on the screen. The next feature is not so big, but is quite useful. Time to time we get requests to check the reason why the system works slower than usual. And sometimes the reason is that two different users start huge tasks which cause such a behavior. To help inform you about this, we have created a new report, CPU consumption, which can help you to analyze system load and plan your tasks. You can run this report using Standard or Pivot mode. For our example, we start this report using Pivot mode. Here you can notice the following columns: date, user, time, task, and time which takes the system to finish the task. This feature will help you plan your combined system use with greater flexibility. After the new version installation, the system will ask you to enable or disable notifications, and after the enabling, the setting remains browser controlled. Afterwards, the system will notify you in case a task created by the user is finished and the respective interface is neither selected or open. By clicking on the notification, the required interface will be opened. To enrich user experience, we have added two new interface themes. Now, in the User Settings panel, you are able to choose two more blue and black color schemes. After choosing it, you have to refresh the page and the theme will be activated. We have added a new metric total system balance to the start page. You need to activate it from the following menu. It shows you not the balance of the exact carrier, but the balance of the system in general. To calculate it, the system sums up all balances of accounts which are present in the carrier's accounts interface. The new system setting first generated invoices after was added, which is used in the financial part of the system. This setting can be found here: Start, Administration, System Settings, Financial Model. It will generate an invoice in case the specified period has already passed and the invoice was still not created. This might be useful in case you bill your partner by the delivery and have to wait to allow all deliveries to come to the system. This will cause the delay of the invoice generation, but using this setting, the system will generate the invoice after 48 hours despite the fact that not all deliveries were received yet. You can change this period according to your wishes. Another 4 new system settings were added for the SMS part of the system. Before, these settings were valid only for the voice part. They are also located in the financial model of the system settings interface. There are Charge Detail Rounding Digits, Client and Vendor Leg, Charge Detail Rounding Function, Client and Vendor Leg. Using parameter Charge Detail Rounding Digits, you can specify the number of decimal places after the decimal separator which will be left after the charge calculation. Charge Detail Rounding Function parameter specifies which function needs to be used. The difference between the functions is the following. Both ceil and floor take these 2 parameters. Ceil takes the number and rounds it above this current value, whereas floor rounds it below its current value. The other function available is round, which also takes these 2 parameters, the number to round and the number of decimal places to round to. If a number is exactly halfway between 2 integers, round will always round up. You can see how each of the settings would affect the number on your screen. Now, let's check the new credit note template which was added in the new version. In case it is needed, you can make a document different from the invoice. To do this, as usual, you need to prepare a template using all markers which are available for the invoice document and upload it into the system. After this, in case the credit note is generated, the new credit note template will be used, and not the invoice template as it happened before. Sometimes it is needed to have a monthly billing period, but it needs to be started not from the beginning of the month. That is why we have added an opportunity to choose the day from which the monthly billing period has to be started. After choosing the 5th day, the invoice will always be generated at 5th of every month. By adding a new carriers in the system, sometimes you need to input the same values and usually it takes time and we have tried to decrease it. In the new interface Start, Reference Book, Control Companies, Agreement Defaults, you are able to set default values for such parameters as credit limits, billing periods and email lists for each control company existing in the system. After specifying their values, they will be automatically inserted in the panel when adding an agreement. In the version 3.5.0, the product removal from the routing rules was enhanced. Now, as you can notice, it is possible to choose the context of the routing rules from which the product needs to be removed. In case the context is not chosen, then the product will be removed from all routing rules in the all contexts. As time to time it is needed to change a number or any, we have added a new feature, a number translation, which can satisfy this requirement. Before, it was possible only for the SMS platform. Now, you are able to find a new interface, Start, Voice, Any Translation. But before we get to know it, we will check how this feature can be activated, as it is inactive by default. The A-number translation engine can be activated in the System Settings interface, and it supports 2 modes, attempt-wise translation and per route. One of them should be selected based on the switch compatibility, as some models do not support the latter. The difference between them is the way how the engine works with the final routing list and the way a number will be changed. Let's consider an example where Alaris routing gets the request with the following parameters: a number and b number. After processing the request, the routing returns 3 routes. The first mode will change the a number only once for all 3 of these routes, and it will be returned in the field from, changing from field in SIB 302 packet. The second mode will change this a number for every route separately, so for every route the a number will be different and it will be added as p-issued identity header to the contact field. Now, after the feature is activated, let's check the interface itself. This interface is divided in 2 parts. On the left side you can see the list of all available rules already created in the system, and on the right side the panel where you can add a new rule or edit the existing one. To add a new rule, you first need to specify the active period, priority, client products and vendor products. In case the first mode was activated, the vendor selection will be hidden. As we have chosen the second mode, then we can also specify the vendor product. Any and Denny's parents are the filters of A and B number, which can narrow down the codes for which the rule will be used. Now let's investigate the field type. As you can see, there are 2 types of translation. You are able to upload the list of A numbers which will be used by changing the original one, or use regular expression to generate an A number. In case you use the second choice, then you need to use regular expression to fill in translation field. Some examples can be found in the release note document. Before using the option from list, replace it, the file needs to be uploaded. This can be done by pressing the following button. Here you are able to upload, edit or delete the existing list of numbers. After adding the file, you can choose it in the list of the following field. The comments field can also be used at your discretion. In the previous versions, when the same rule was edited by different users at the same time, the changes could conflict with each other. In the new version, when submitting the changes, you will get the following message. And you are able to choose one of the options: override other changes and revert my changes. The first choice will save your changes on the priority, the second one will cancel your corrections. A new billing period every 10 days was added. It results in invoicing being created for period from 1st till 10th, from 10th to 20th, and from 20th the 1st to last day of the month. It means that you will always get 3 invoices per month. Probably you are already familiar with the functionality of the error code translation. Before this new version, it was possible to configure it only by requesting it from the support team. We will create a new separate video fully describing this functionality soon, but now we will just want to state that we have added a new interface: start, SMS, routing, translation rules, error and status codes, which is more user-friendly and can help you to configure the translation without requesting it from the support team. For the SMS switch, we have added a feature that will take into account the validity period of the SMS. This field can be found in the submit packet of the SMTP protocol or can be specified in the link of the HTTP protocol. This is the date and the period during which the SMS is actual, and the SMS switch can try to deliver it to the terminal equipment. Let's consider the example where a Alaris switch gets the SMS where the validity period is 2 days. It means that in case today is October 10th, the SMS switch can try to deliver it during these 2 days. Now, if the feature is activated for this channel, by receiving the SMS, the switch will try to send the message to the several vendors. In case all the vendors reject the message or fail to respond within timeout or are offline during this process, the submit will be put into a dedicated pool. The switch will hold this submit in this pool and will try to route and send this message using the specified interval until the validity period is expired. After the validity period is expired and the message was still not sent to the vendor, the client will receive the delivery with the status expired. To activate this feature, you need to specify the client channel list and the required intervals in seconds and send this information to our support team. By default, the intervals are as follows. Now it is possible to enable storing deliveries that were not sent to client per channel basis using specific parameter. For example, the switch will receive 10 messages for the following channel ID and will pass them to the vendor. In case this channel will be offline, when deliveries are received from the vendor side, all deliveries will be saved in the special pool and will be sent after the channel is up again. Undelivered packets are stored for 2 days only. If channel doesn't go online during this period, pending reports are purged. Before in the interface start SMS, routing, simulation, send SMS, it was not possible to specify the datacoding which needs to be used to send the message, but now you are able to choose one of the options available in the following list. Now you can use the interface translation rules not only for MT traffic, but also for MO messages. To do this, you need to choose the right option as you can see on the screen, and then you will get the list of the fields which can be translated. Now, in the interface translation rules, additionally you are able to change the text of the message. To create a rule, you need to fill all the needed fields and specify the text filler and the translation using regular expression. Some examples of the regular expression can be found in the release note document, which can be found in the description. For the SMS routing rules, 3 new metrics were added: rule total attempt count, rule successful attempt count, rule delivered attempt count. These metrics can be used just like the others in the routing rules fields condition and formula. The counts will be reset depending on the period specified in the system setting interface, as you can see on the screen. In case the first option is chosen, then the stats will be reset every day and will be calculated again. Quite often, users and carriers created by the retail portal cause a confusion. That is why we decided to differentiate them from others for your convenience. First of all, we have added a checkbox on the carrier's interface, as you can see on the screen. In case the carrier was created as part of the retail portal registration, this checkbox will be active. It will also give the carrier name a green color in the Analytics interface. Additionally, you are able to filter all these carriers by using the following key. In the previous versions, when the same rule was edited by different users at the same time, the changes could conflict with each other. In the new version, when submitting the changes, you will get the following message. And you are able to choose one of the options: override other changes and revert my changes. The first choice will save your changes on the priority, the second one will cancel your corrections. Let's start with the new test system which was added for the SMS platform. By popular request we have integrated telqueue system. This new test system, as all others, has been added to start SMS test system interface. Here you can choose the required system, but before using it you need to also configure it on both sides of the interaction. For the integration you need to do the following. First of all, you need to register yourself in the telqueue system and get user and password as usual. As you can see, you need also to enable the following parameter. Then, you need to copy app ID and app key to use them in the Alaris SMS platform. You need to input them in the following system setting. It is also needed to add your switch IP in the following field. So now you are able to use this new system. In case you have any additional questions, please contact our support team. New interface dedicated to the SMS rate generation has been made available with this platform version. It will be fully described in one of the following videos, but generally it inherits all the previously available functionality in the respective report, Rate Generator SMS, enhancing it and providing more convenient and feature-rich opportunities to create own rate plans that can be applied directly from the model or exported into Excel file. Time to time, it is needed to know the exact time when the message was sent to the vendor. To meet this requirement, we have added a new column, Vendor Send Time, which specifies the exact time when the message was passed further. This field is present in the report EDR export in the special interface. In the new version, the billing by the SMS statuses was extensively revised. After the update, your business configuration will be left the same, but the feature was changed. Before, on the product level, it was possible to choose one of the available options from the following list. All statuses were sorted by these categories, and sorting could be changed by requesting it from our support team. For such purpose, we have added a new interface: Start, SMS, Reference Book, Billing Status Process. This interface is divided into two grids. On the top grid, you are able to add, change, or view the group of statuses which call presets here. All presets which are painted red here were added by default and cannot be changed. But all presets which IDs are higher than 1000 can be changed. By choosing the exact preset, you will be able to check all the statuses which are included here on the bottom grid. Moreover, you can add any exact status to this preset, as you can see on the screen. After the preset is ready, you are able to choose it on the product level. This logic lets you configure the billing based on the statuses more flexibly. For example, you can bill the client for the status rejected, but exclude the status for the vendor side. Time to time, it is needed to compare the stats with your partners, which work in a different time zone. Before, it was difficult as it was needed to calculate the time shift and export the EDRs. Now, in the interface analytics, you are able to choose the daily cubes and the needed time zone. The system will recalculate the stats and show them depending on the time zone chosen, as you can see on the screen. But be aware that you need all the hour cubes to be calculated to use this option. In the SMS Analytics interface, the new layer Global Region Manager was added. Before, it was relevant only for the voice part of the system. The layer lets you check all the regions which are assigned to the manager in the separate interface. To include any country to the special region and assign a manager, you need to check the interface: Start, Reference Book, Regions. Here on the first page you need to add a new region and assign it to a manager. And on the second page you can include all the required countries in this region. Then, after using this layer in the Analytics interface, you will be able to see all the countries included in this region before. Now, in the interface SMS Analytics, you can find a new column Delivery Delay by exporting EDRs from it. It is the period of time which passed after sending the message and getting delivery from the vendor. For example, the message was passed at 2:30 and the delivery was received at 2:34, so it means the delay is 4 minutes. For your convenience, cubes in the SMS Analytics are differently highlighted. Cubes to be recalculated due to new deliveries, period has gray italic font. Cubes to be recalculated due to new EDRs, period has gray bold italic font. Now, let's check new features for the RESTful API interface. Firstly, we will describe two new methods, available network and available country, which are relevant only for the SMS platform. Using these methods, you can get the list of all available countries for the exact date and exact product, the list of all available networks for the exact date, country and product. For our example, we will use RESTful API interface and will check the first method. Let's fill the field country name, product ID and effective ad and get the result. As you can see, here is the list of all available networks for the selected product and country. To use the method available country, let's fill the following fields. As a result, you will see all available countries for the exact product. The next method which was added is responsible for the SMS stats. By using it, you can get, edit and delete the stats which you can see in the interface SMS, routing statistics, and which will be imported in the routing model further. For our example, let's check the stats which are actual now for the MCC 250 and the following POI. As you can see, the system returns the following result. You can also use delete or post methods. New HLR provider BipSend was integrated into the system. To start working with it, you need to ask this provider to whitelist your server IP where routing model is installed and provide our support team with a password and user. Then you will be able to start. Well, that is all technical details which we plan to describe in this video. Hopefully it was useful for you. In case you have any questions regarding the new version and the features which were not described here, you can always contact our support team. If you have any suggestions regarding the channel development, we'll be happy to get them also by the following email. So, see you in the next lesson.